Why would ALK choose not to appoint Frank Lampard as manager? Because they met him. Hi, my name is Mike and welcome to my vlog about football in general and Burnley FC in particular. A vlog that this week watched Wout Weghorst cause absolute chaos at Euro 2024 and would dearly love to see him doing that for a season in a Burnley shirt. So we have a new leader, one who has seen success in the past, one who, after a long period of chaos and instability, both good and bad, promises to be a bit more boring and competent. One who has a reputation for success in the past, but also for ruthlessly purging more established and popular figures that he doesn't like. Someone who, when you look at who they were up against, is probably the best of a fairly unappetising list of available candidates for the job. But enough about Keir Starmer. Scott Parker has been announced as the new head coach of Burnley FC. Look, there was unlikely to be the perfect manager out there, and the list of candidates this off-season was particularly unappetising. It seems the selection process was trickier than perhaps expected. Let's be honest, this is a hugely attractive gig for any manager with a squad that, to all intents and purposes, is capable of being even better than the one that was promoted 14 months ago. 14 months. God, that feels such a long time ago. Some names were in the fray. Frank Lampard got all his mates in the media to pitch him for the job, which probably got him an interview at Turf Moor, at which point the fatal flaw in the plan became apparent. Why would ALK choose not to appoint Frank Lampard as manager? Because they met him. Other names were thrown into the ring, quite like the idea of Liam Rosenior. Steve Cooper was always after the Leicester job. Ruud van Nistelrooy was almost appointed, it seems, but had a difficult choice to make. He could come to Turf Moor, put in a year or so, and if all goes well, he would get the Man United job when Erik ten Hag gets sacked next summer. Or he could go straight to Old Trafford as an assistant and get the job when they sack him at Christmas anyway. Some Scandinavian managers was linked, including Kasper Hjulmand, the current Denmark manager, and Kjetil Knudsen, the manager of Burnley. He has an impressive CV with the Norwegian club, including some Champions League experience. Very impressive CV, only slightly more impressive than my pronunciation of Burnley. But it's Scott Parker for whom the job has been given, except it kind of sort of wasn't. The key phrase in his appointment is the use of head coach. I guess after handing out long contracts and the keys to the club to two managers in Sean Dyche, remember he got a new contract 6 months before getting sacked, and then Vincent Kompany, ALK have decided that the new guy's job is to deal solely with the football side of things and only the football side of things. And this leads to a couple of highly speculative conclusions. The first is that the trust in Parker is at a lower level than that given to Dyche or Kompany. Now that isn't a knock on Scott Parker, more a reflection that possibly ALK are just tired of being messed around and are protecting themselves a lot more than they have in the past. Maybe that was a reason it took so long to appoint someone after all, where other choices perhaps didn't want to be just merely a head coach. But Parker is currently 2 from 2 at getting teams out of the Championship and into the Premier League. First he did it with Fulham, winning 23, drawing 12 and losing 11 of the 46 games before going up via the playoffs. And then at Bournemouth, promotion in second place with a record of 25 wins, 13 draws and 8 losses. But then we have to draw a veil over his time in the Premier League for two reasons. One, that did not go well at all. And second, well, what was I just saying about being head coach? Of course, everyone would love Parker to be a success for the duration of his 3-year contract, me included, and to get a well-deserved extension at the end of it. But I don't think ALK are wanting a really committed relationship right now, and a show me 12 to 18 months, that seems to fit all parties down to the ground, including sceptical fans such as myself. Like I said, it's not an appointment to inspire delight and glee and heights of emotion, but like I said in my last vlog, I don't think I want that right now. I think I want boringly competent and successful. And the fixture list hasn't handed him the easiest of starts either. Leeds and Luton away in the first 5 games at the either side of a home match against that lot from down the road. If you want to be an instant hero, Scotty, then coming out of those fixtures unbeaten and with a win in the derby is the clear path to doing so. Speaking of heroes, JBG is back, with the B clearly standing for Boomerang. Was disappointed to see him go in the first place, although it is a surprise to see him back, and I'm very, very happy with that. Maybe the market wasn't out there for him and what he wanted, and that's fair enough. Maybe the atmosphere with company was not something he wanted to be part of. Well, that's interesting, because that's now J-Rod, JBG and Craig Bellamy back at the club after being fairly obviously out of the door-marked exit at the end of the season. Although Bellamy may still go for the Wales job, and who would blame him. But maybe it's telling and perhaps significant about Vincent Kompany, or maybe that's just me showing my annoyance and giving him a boot on the way to Bayern Munich. Speaking of people who might have stayed, Charlie Taylor has gone, but the news came too late to stop his negotiation and subsequent signing with Southampton. Again, the best of luck to him, a player who never ever gave less than 100% for the club and did the job asked of him without complaining, even after some pretty shitty treatment from Vincent Kompany. I remember his debut at home, where early in the first half he rampaged down the left wing and delivered a dangerous attacking cross. At that moment I thought to myself, last time we're going to see him do that under Sean Dyche. But he finally managed to score for us last season, and let's face it, who had Charlie Taylor, scorer of 20-yard Thunder Bastards, on their bingo card? But now we finally have someone in charge. We have Scott Parker. Like I say, I'm slightly sceptical, but good luck to him. You know, I wish him the best. I hope he does well. I don't want him to fail. I don't want him to, be a failure or anything like that. He is probably as good as we were likely to get, and that is not necessarily a knock on him. It's just a reflection of the situation where the club is, a situation where the club wants, and perhaps, like I say, the field of managers that are out there at the moment. But it's nice to be able to think now about the normal stuff, about the things you normally think about in the run-up to a season. Discussions of incoming transfers, the trimming of the squad. We have pre-season friendlies to arrange. Will Trafford or Muric start in goal? And what do the new shirts look like? Although, come to think of it, we have another betting sponsor, so I'm not going to be buying one. Yep, another new betting sponsor this year. A company we never heard of is replaced by another betting company that we've never heard of. Well, I say it's actually one we've never heard of. We kind of sort of have. I did a vlog around this time last year when the last sponsor was announced, talking about Asian betting companies and why they give so much money to football clubs like Burnley, and indeed how they do it in a legal and licensing framework. And looking up the new betting sponsor, I found something interesting, because we have had a sponsor who have sponsored our training gear for the last 2 seasons and spent a lot of money sponsoring Aston Villa last season. They're registered and based out of the bookies in the Isle of Man. And in the spirit of things, I looked up where our new sponsor is based, and well, what do you know? But who else is willing to spend the source of money that they are in sponsoring football clubs, like I say? And having dropped out of the Premier League, Burnley have reasons to take the money, and there are several million reasons a season to take this money. It's murky business at times, really. So that's it for this one. I hope to have another vlog out soon. I've been working on something for a couple of months and life has kind of got in the way, so I have to kind of rewrite it a little bit. But I hope to be able to talk about more positive things, about the way Parker is building the team, about incoming and outgoing, and also a couple of other things around Burnley FC and accounts and football accounts in general. So hope to have that out soon, but in the meantime, enjoy your summer and up the Clarets.